September 24th, 1951 is a date that is the beginning of a true American story. It was on this date that William Leroy Page, Billy, was born. He was born to a cotton mill maintenance man and a half Cherokee woman in a house that was built by his great-grandfather and his great-uncles. His family didn't have much in the way of money, but they made up for it in family traditions of self-reliance and pride. These were attributes that were not uncommon among the citizenry of the small country community of Piney Ridge of the 1950s. Though work was plentiful, money was scarce. And in order to help put food on the table, he and his younger brother hunted all forms of small animals to help feed his family. The need to conserve ammunition made him an outstanding marksman and a very patient hunter. You see, Piney Ridge was country, and an environment where a young boy learned lessons that would ultimately make him a man. He was the second in a group of 4 brothers. They lived in the same 3-bedroom home where they were born. And like all brothers, they fought, they argued, they played, and they worked together. The brothers were together all the time. They were inseparable and often unstoppable. And as a group, they called themselves the Piney Ridge Roads. Piney Ridge was their community. From one end to the other, Billy and the boys enjoyed the freedom and pride they derived from that community. It was theirs to explore, and theirs, in their eyes, to protect. Should an outsider from the small cotton mill town of Coolamy come across the creek uninvited and be seen, he'd have to fight all them Page boys. And they were rough. In 1968, a war in a faraway place called Vietnam was leaving its mark on the little community of Piney Ridge. Several of the families in the little community in the little country community had lost sons and brothers. Billy had lost friends and saw the Western Union man as he delivered a telegram that conveyed the nation's and the president's deepest sympathies. He also saw the draft cards when they came in the mail. Now, at 17, he made a decision. He made a decision to protect his brothers from the draft and the dangers of war. He went to the Army recruiter and the draft board and volunteered. He joined the Army knowing that he would go to war. He made a deal that with his voluntary enlistment, his brothers would be removed from the draft. And that was a deal that was honored by the government. And he did this in trade for his voluntary recruitment. And he knew it was going to be a sacrifice for himself, for his brothers and his family. Shortly thereafter, he was shipped off to Kansas for boot camp. While in training, he excelled in the lessons his drill instructors pounded into his head and his body. This was an adventure for a country boy from rural North Carolina. He was later assigned to the 351st Combat Engineers and dropped off in the jungles of northern Thailand. You see, Thailand was an overlooked part of the war. Bill's unit was tasked with a war in places where they were not supposed to be. His unit's welcome speech advised him not to get caught, because at that point he would no longer exist. He had spared his brothers from the war. The war was hard, and the fighting, fear, and dead friends would haunt Bill pretty much for the rest of his life. But now the war was part of him. In 1971, Bill finished 2 tours and was sent home, and he was done with the military. After the Army, Bill started a family and worked hard to set an example for his son and daughter. He taught lessons that were needed for kids to grow and to be productive members of society. He taught us the same lessons that he had learned in Piney Ridge and through the Army: honesty, hard work, determination, a fearless need to say, "I earned it, it's mine, you can't have it, and I'm not giving it to you unless you ask. And even then, I have the right to say no." These were lessons. Through him I learned values of sacrifice, family and determination, and pride in one's self and community. He is the reason for my 19 years in the military. I have raised my children with the same lessons and values that he had provided me. Well, now Bill's name is changed again, from Billy to Bill, now Paw. He is the leader of our family. He is still providing lessons and experience to his 11 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. He has sacrificed for his family, community, and nation. Throughout his life, he has given up so much, and he is still an inspiration to his family and friends. I am proud to be his son, and furthermore, I am proud to say that I am my father's son. Thank you.